Alright guys, today we're going to show you how to actually assemble the Aero beam. So, the piece that we want to start off with is the base, because you need something for the beam to mount on. And what we built this out of is just a chunk of 2x6. It's about a foot long. We painted it silver so it looks nice. And we've added a couple of shelf brackets. You can find these at the store. I think they're 4" by 6" shelf brackets with the angles in them. What that does is that gives you a place for the actual beam to mount in. We've already bent this and pre-drilled the holes in it, so you don't have to do that. The way this works is this sits in here. You have to bend these tips out a little bit for this to fit in here just right, but with a little bit of adjustment you can get those to fit. What we've done is we've taped the end with red tape so that we can denote this as being the danger area. That lets you know you don't want to walk into it, and the reason it's bent is because the propeller is going to sit in here like this, and that kind of acts as a propeller guard. So that's the plan. Here's our beam. We're going to add a motor. First, for the motor, we need the motor mount. That's this piece. It looks like this. That slides on from the end. You have to be sure and add this piece before you add anything else. Otherwise, nothing fits together. There's a hole drilled in the beam right there, and you want to line that hole up with the motor mount hole, because there's a shaft coming off the back of the motor, which we'll see in a minute. So go ahead and tighten these down. Don't make these too tight or you'll break it, but you want them nice and snug so that the motor doesn't move around. That should do it. Next, we'll add the motor. This is probably the most difficult part of assembling the whole thing. Now, as I mentioned before, there's actually a shaft coming off of the back of the motor, and you want to make sure that that fits down inside the hole in the conduit beam nice and clean and doesn't rub, because otherwise the motor will have a drag on it while it's going around and it'll make a lot of bad sounds, and you don't want that. Try not to hit your classmates in the head with the other end of the beam while you're swinging this thing around putting it together. There, we've got the motor installed. We'll save the prop to last so that we don't break it while we're messing with the other stuff. Next, you want to add the Arduino mount. This is the Arduino mount. It looks like kind of a platform, and it's got another block on it. That's to slide onto the beam. There's a bolt in the side that acts as a clamp, so once you get it in place you can clamp it down. And you don't want this too close to the hole. You want it about an inch away from the hole. And you want it to sit on there nice and level. That looks pretty level. And you want it about that far away from the hole. So go ahead and tighten that down. Next, we'll add the Arduino. The USB port goes towards the back of the board. Don't tighten these down too tight or you'll crush the board, but make them snug so it's not bouncing around on there. Now that we've got that put together like that, we can go ahead and bolt all of this to the base. So use the long bolt as your pivot and get that to line up. And you don't want this one too tight, otherwise it won't pivot. Finger tight will be good for that one. Next, you need the shield board. This is what actually controls the motor. It'll sit on here like that. control the motor, we need a speed control. This is this ESC, or ESC, that mounts on here. We'll secure that to the arm with a little bit of tape. There, that looks pretty nice. Go ahead and plug the ESC into the board and then plug in the speed control wires. The white wire on the ESC control will go nearest the big connector. So if you've got it oriented like this, the white wire goes towards you when you plug it in. Next, we need the battery. Again, we just have to come up with a way to mount this, so we're going to use tape and tape it onto the board wherever it looks like it fits the best. On this one it looks like it fits on the top the best, so we'll just stick it right there. Now don't plug the battery in until you're ready for it to run. Next we need a propeller. Go ahead and tighten the propeller down, but don't make it so tight that you strip it out. Just snug will do. Finally, we need the counterweight. We have a 1/2 inch bolt, and that slides in the back of the beam, just like that. Hit it just a little bit, it should be nice and snug, and now you've got a balanced beam. The last thing, to secure it to the table, you'll need 2 clamps. Just like that, and just like that. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time and show you how to control it.